Hey everybody, today we're going to test out a performance part we just picked up for our Ram. Now we know these things add power. We've seen lots of dyno tunes online proving that they do just that. Today we're going to test out if it actually helps your mile per gallon. Alright, now stock, these trucks are really quiet. You don't really hear the engine or the turbo. Now the only thing I've really changed is I do have a tune from PPEI. I have it set on the lowest tune, the 30 horsepower tune. I've got a couple more videos on that and I'll post those right up here in the corner. Or I'll put a link to those videos down in the description. Overall, the tunes have been great. I don't have any regrets tuning the truck. Alright, right now I'm going on the same loop that I did in the other videos. I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's not a flat road. It's a road up here in Alaska, heading north out of Fairbanks. It's a highway. I'm going 55 miles an hour with the cruise control set. Right after leaving the gas station, you climb about 1,500 feet. So what I'm saying is this is about as close to real world as you can get while still removing the traffic. You don't want to test mile per gallon in traffic because there's too many variables. You might have to significantly slow down or even come to unwanted stops. I'm also curious to see if the baseline has mile per gallon has changed. Last time I did this loop, it was in the fall. It was a lot warmer. Now there's still a lot of snow on the ground. So we'll see if that makes a difference as well. All right, you can get these Banks intakes two different ways. You can get them with a dry filter or an oil filter. I decided to go with the dry filter. A lot of you might be asking why I would go with the dry filter, because it's known that the oil filters can produce more power and are more efficient. But I currently live up here in Alaska, and I was worried that with an oil filter, with temperatures reaching below -40 in the winter, I was afraid that the oil filter would freeze, and it's not going to do anything. It's not keeping any dirt out. It's not going to function if the oil on it's frozen. I guess the same thing can happen to a dry filter if any moisture gets on it, but we're trying to keep it dry anyway. So here we are at the end of our 44.5 mile loop. The computer's saying we're getting 15.1 miles per gallon. Let's see where we're actually at. All right, again, we're gonna wait until the pump stops, then we'll wait 30 seconds and go ahead and top off. All right, we've got 44.5 miles divided by 2.304 gallons gives us 19.3. All right, we've got our baseline now, over 19 miles per gallon. That's better than I was expecting. That's gonna be really tough to beat. All right, time to get this old one out and get the new one in. All right, first you're gonna disconnect both negative battery terminals, and then you're gonna wait 15 minutes before removing any sensors. This is gonna keep you from getting the check engine light or the truck going into limp mode when you get everything back together. Next, you're gonna remove the intake scoop cover. I just quickly pop these little clips out. Don't forget the 2 bolts right here in the back. Now this just pops loose right here. Then loosen this little clamp. Now disconnect your 2 sensors right here. So this is just one more reason to just do things yourself. This intake tube here, I've only had it in the dealer for work. This intake right here, they were checking the filter, so they loosened this and didn't even tighten that back up. So if you want it done right, do it yourself. All right, just wipe down the turbo right before you install everything else. Make sure there's no loose debris or anything there. All right, they want you to line the 2 arrows on the sleeve with the tube that comes out of the top of the turbo right here. Now, real quick, you're gonna transfer the sensors and these little grommets from the old intake over to the new intake. Now Banks makes a good looking intake. A bonus is you get rid of this baffle and you get some good turbo sound. All right, now we just make sure there's no check engine light. There's not. Let's get going. All right, just got the intake installed, and we're driving over to fuel up right before doing the little test mile loop. The throttle response feels better. Could be my imagination, but it does feel better. All right, so what am I expecting to get out of this? How many mile per gallon improvement? I would say I'm expecting about a half mile per gallon improvement. Anything more than that would be, I don't know, just dreaming, I guess. But the first loop before the intake was so good, 19.3. I don't know if we're gonna beat that. So we might actually see a small mile per gallon loss. I wouldn't be surprised. Check this out. The computer is a lot more accurate than it was the first time around. Well, it looks more accurate than it was the first time around. We'll see when we get back to the pump. All right, so the truck's computer actually says that it's getting quite a bit better. I don't know, the thing's not accurate, so you can't trust it. So we're gonna have to wait till we get to the pump. Right now it's saying we get 19.5. Last time it said 15. I'll show it up on the screen here. But we actually got 19.3 last time. So if it's in the 20s, that'd be ridiculous. But I think the computer's a little closer this time, but still we're reading 19.6 right now, so let's see what the pump says. All right, now I want to check out Banks' website and see what they're claiming real quick. All right away they say no check engine light. That's correct. More audible and aggressive induction note. It sounds fantastic. They say flows over 51% more than stock. They back that up by posting the flow test on their website. Now up top it says greater fuel economy. That's what we're testing now. 44.5 miles just like last time, 20 miles per gallon. All right, that's 44.5 miles divided by 2.316. All right, that was a little disappointing. The before was 19.31. The after was 19.21. Really, there's just no difference. That could have just been the way the pump. It was such a small difference that it's irrelevant. Really, there was no change. So it doesn't. They don't help the mile per gallon. They do help in power. That's been proven on a dyno. But now everybody knows that it does not help with the mile per gallon. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out.